It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, let's take it to Wichita, Kansas to discuss the 2020 slaying of Joe Jojo Wheeler III after an argument with a coworker at a gentleman's club. But before we get into this video, I'd like to say a big thank you to our supporters. We appreciate you so much. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, you can find the information on the screen. And to support us for absolutely no cost to you, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony 2 times family. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, this video is sponsored by yours truly, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and my new YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out and support me. I'll leave the link to it in the description box below. And be sure to share this video with everyone you know. Stay tuned until the end to hear all the details. All right, let's get into it. Workplace drama is a common reality for most employers in different industries. For whatever reasons, some employees don't get along well with each other. They are always at odds, turning an already stressful workplace into a dangerously toxic environment that can even turn fatal. Joe Jojo Wheeler III was born and raised in Wichita, Kansas. He played basketball from middle school to high school. He was described as having a happy spirit, caring, and genuine. Joe was well known in his hometown, and he never knew a stranger. He later became a father to 2 sons, and fatherhood was one of Joe's greatest accomplishments. Joe seemed to be the type of guy who was fun-loving, enjoyed having a good time, and spending time with his family and friends. He worked at an adult entertainment club called Baby Dolls in North Wichita, where he was the son of the owner. Baby Dolls was also known as a bikini bar. Joe worked at Baby Dolls during the day, and for the most part, Joe got along with the people he worked with. But one day, Joe got into it with a woman named Autumn Metcalf, a dancer at the club. On Monday, August 24th, 2020, Joe worked the day shift at the club and was hanging out after his shift. Multiple employees heard Joe get into an argument with Autumn. One person said the argument went on for more than 2 hours. The night manager of the club heard Autumn say, "Just wait, I'm gonna have somebody come up here. My brother has a strap." According to reports, Autumn made multiple calls, at one point telling the person she was on the phone with she wanted Joe gone. A club patron heard Autumn say, "I'll have him gone or I'll have him shot." Later that night, 2 people arrived and met Autumn at the club. In between that time, Joe and the night manager were with each other. At some point, Joe went to his car, a 2017 Jaguar XC that was parked in the back of the club. Less than 2 minutes after the night manager saw Joe, she discovered him shot inside his car. At 9:06 p.m., Joe's mother called 911 to report a shooting at Baby Dolls. The caller said the suspect was Autumn. Police arrived at the 4900 block of North Arkansas, where they found 33-year-old Joe Wheeler slumped over, wounded inside his Jaguar with the door open. He was pronounced gone at the scene from 2 shots to his head. Officers learned of the disturbance inside the club that more than likely spilled into the parking lot. Police spoke with Autumn at the scene, but she was allowed to leave. Investigators interviewed witnesses at the scene. They overheard Autumn making multiple threats, saying that she would have her brother take care of Joe. An employee said Autumn called 4 to 5 people. At one point, witnesses said Autumn described Joe to the other person on the phone. Another witness heard Autumn tell someone on the phone, "Yeah, he's still here. Come back up." Right after the incident, another witness heard Autumn saying, "Bitch thought he was going to get away with it, talking to me like that." Despite all the witness testimony and evidence pointing at Autumn as the suspect, it took over 2 years for her to be charged. In September 2022, the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office featured Autumn Metcalf as its felon of the day. Later that month, 31-year-old Autumn was arrested and booked for first-degree hit as well as failure to appear and multiple counts of failure to comply. Her bonds totaled $267,000. In August 2024, 4 years after Joe's slaying, Autumn went to trial. In addition to her other charges, she also faced charges of solicitation to commit a hit. The trial started on a Monday and lasted until Friday morning. Jurors deliberated for 3 hours before finding Autumn Metcalf guilty of solicitation of first-degree hit and first-degree hit in connection to the slaying of Joe Wheeler III. Autumn was supposed to be sentenced in October 2024. However, she is currently still being held at the Sedgwick County Jail, so I'm guessing she's still awaiting sentencing. 2 people who met Autumn at the club and were seen with her on surveillance were contacted during the investigation and declined to provide a statement. It appears Autumn was the only person charged and convicted in this incident thus far. May Jojo Glennis Wheeler III continue to rest in peace. My belated condolences to his family. I send them my well wishes. It's not clear what Joe and Autumn were arguing about, but it seemed like Autumn felt disrespected by the way Joe was talking to her. She couldn't let it go and made the decision to end his life. To be arguing for more than 2 hours in your place of work is crazy, and it sounds exhausting. Did Autumn and Joe have prior run-ins? We can only speculate what the disagreement was about and why it escalated. Either way, no disagreement at work should get to the point of a life being taken. We have to do our best to not let our emotions take over to the point where we lose control. Remember, we have to succeed, not to fail, so we don't become another hood tale. Fam, what are your thoughts on this situation? Have any of you worked in this industry and had issues with a coworker? If so, how did you handle it? Even if you haven't worked in that industry but had issues with someone you work with, how did you manage to get through it? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times. Until next time.